Cool. All right. I should be on the ECU. Nope. Thing a chance to load. Hey Murph, I'm doing well. How are you? Or Mr. Chirpy. Mr. Chippy. Wow. Dark text and bad eyesight. Mr. Chippy, I'm doing well. How are you? Hey, about it. I'll do my best not to get lost, Stuart. And we look forward to your return to the flight line. But I appreciate you swinging by. Enjoy some Colorado scenery. Starting a little right next to Cannon City. And making our way over to Salida Alexander, which is in Poncha Springs. And then going over to Gunnison. And then we go to Montrose, and then we go to Grand Junction. So it's going to be lots of fun. Get a lot of mountain scenery. Weather turned today, so staying in the cabin. Gotcha. Well, as long as you're staying safe and warm and toasty, that's what matters. And enjoying the outdoors as well. That's also important. So, we are going to take... Pardon me. That helps if I'm... We're going to take the Caravan out. As long as everything stays nice and stable. Got a Mooney. A couple other Caravans. Let's get this started up.
TOS system test. Okay.
TOS system. It's a black blue Yeti. I think blue is the manufacturer, and then Yeti is the model name. But it's just a black one, so I couldn't honestly say for certain.
TOS system test. Okay.
Other than, okay. Go on. That's throttles it. Drop it. Forward. Trim. Here. Beacon actives. And then put the charger. Happen. And, no smoking. Seatbelt. Your field elevation should be about 5,400 feet. Sure the course is plotted in is off. Gotcha. Now the Blue Yeti, it does a great job, especially for being a more entry level sort of mic. It does a fantastic job. And with a noise filter and some of the filters in OBS, you can get a lot of good quality out of it. Like I've got a noise gate on mine so that it doesn't pick up all the extra noises from in the room and outside of the room, because it can pick up quite a bit of extra noise that you don't want in it. But it does a good job between the noise gate and whatnot of sorting it all out. That's that. I'm not necessarily going to worry about autopilot. That's good. That's good. Win.
Victor 6 automated weather observation 190.
261.
Wind 261 at 8. Visibility tree. Sky condition. Few clouds at 800 feet. Few clouds at 4,000.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a crosswind on takeoff.
12,200 feet. Temperature 19 C dew point. 10 C altimeter 2978.
Okay. Got you started up. You seem to be started up. You're started up. Got another Mooney on the runway. So we're going to parking brake. Put the condition lever at max. Give it just enough throttle or torque. Get the plane rolling. Please. There we go. That momentum. Hey, Bad Dog, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. In here we turn. Wow, the Logitech switch panel does not like Caravan, so we're just gonna not use it. Beacon. set. Okay, let me double check. So we want to follow maps. Okay. Color. We're gonna find the highway and follow that as best as possible as our visual reference. You guide us through the mountains, because I don't like flying over the mountains because you miss out on so much opinion, and it takes a bit extra skill and fun. Yeah, the yoke part's already in the works, but for sure hopefully I think the shipping information just needs to update, and then everything will be hunky dory as far as that goes, and hopefully they're as good as much as they cost. And up, light crosswind from the left. Yeah, well, you know, I won't tell if you won't. Laps up. We're going to circle the field, make sure everybody gets off ground well. Allow everyone some time to catch up. The Caravan is not the fastest airplane in the world. Laps are up. We have traffic in sight. Yeah. Okay, so do another big circle. Well, we could probably get away with just heading straight on course. Okay, well. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and straighten out. Level off. Hey Bombasso, how you doing? Well, thanks for joining us while you're at work. We're flying through the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. In fact, I think that's one of the correctional facilities down there. This is Cannon City. We're going to follow the Arkansas River. Not to be confused with Arkansas, which I like to call it. And we'll go ahead and level off at 9,000, I guess. We're definitely not taking the direct route, because where's the fun in the direct route? We will be following the Arkansas River, which also parallels US Highway 50, which will get us to Poncha Springs via the scenic route. Have the fun. Hey, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I hear lots and lots and lots and lots of good things about the honeycomb. Okay. Our RPM's down into the green. Oh, just a few friends. Don't have the name tags on. I'm not 100% sure who's here, but the usual gang from the Murphy clan, or the Murphy Flying Circus. Got a couple of Moonies, couple of Caravans. We're following the Arkansas River. All is good. That's Arkansas. Did I miss the Arkansas River? Hey, we're hamster. No, we're a little bit, I guess. Hey, thanks for the follow, my friend. I do appreciate it. Yeah, that'd be neat to get some radio panels and stuff from Honeycomb. I'd like to see them see what they can do with the joystick too. Outside air temperature is actually pretty warm. 28 degrees. I don't think icing is going to be too much of an issue. Well, what that was. We're going to do our best to follow the Arkansas River as best as we can. Ooh, the bumps. They are real. Because in the olden days, one good method of directional finding was rivers, because A, gave you a regular source of water, B, they usually run in the direction of a source of water, whether it be an ocean or lake or what have you. So in the case of seeking westward, not a bad idea to follow the water, you know what I mean? That's fair. I'd still like to see what they could come up with, though. Because the more competition there is, the better the market price is for items. There's more competition. More competition is always a good thing. Unless you're a company, then you might not want it, but it's actually going to be the most beneficial for you too. It gives people choice. There is... Looks like I haven't gotten everyone lost. But yeah, Thrustmaster really has a stout lineup for real high-end joysticks. Or at least high on the entry level or high mid market, without getting into, like Virpil stuff and that sort of thing. You start getting into that sort of thing, and you're talking about like Yoko yokes and stuff like that, and that stuff is not cheap at all. gonna start a leisurely right-hand turn to follow the river northish. Can you imagine living out here? Now, what's really interesting is the other side of the Rockies. You're getting into desert. It doesn't look nearly as green and lush as this side of the Rocky Mountains, because we're on the east side right now. But once you get on the west side, on the windward side, it's much less lush until you start getting towards California, Utah. There's a fair amount of desert type landscape between, or right on the windward side of the Rocky Mountain. Got Warhamster. Formation flying in the Caravan. So we'll make a quick landing stop at Kilo Alpha November Kilo, let everybody catch up. Because then we really start getting into the mountains after here. Hey, this trip is about enjoying the scenery, not speed. It's about looking out the window and just taking it all in its virtual goodness. But don't apologize for the speed. Bump to bumps. I have the runway in sight. Prop forwards. Power torque lever coming back. Hey, Keen, how you doing? It has been a good day. Absolutely right on that. Go ahead and put that final latch of flaps in. Trim nose down a little bit. Hey, Murph, how you doing? It's been a pretty good day so far to me, or for me. Words are hard today. I'll say that. Words have definitely been a challenge today. And it's only Tuesday. Imagine what the rest of the week's gonna do. We are just landing at our first stop of the day at Kilo Alpha November Kilo, exploring the wonderfulness that is Colorado. Yeah, it's huge. It definitely means a lot to me, for sure. Okay.
500.
Okay, we're definitely well above the glide slope. We're significantly below it. That's okay. Ooh, that was smooth but a bounce. But we got her down. No need for reversers because we want to let this roll out. We're under 40 knots, so we raise the flaps. Yeah, I like doing all these stops because it helps me build proficiency. I think that's important. So we can turn exit those off. The dip in the taxiway. And who needs the grading? Who needs to make things flat? Let's just have the dips. Who needs flat terrain anyway, right? And the leaf blowers are starting. Okay, condition lever goes to low idle for now. Torque lever goes. Parking brake comes engaged. Well, we got a Mooney down. Got another Caravan down. Another Caravan. I never thought I'd see 50 followers, let alone 100 followers on Twitch. Thank you all. And that's really awesome. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Nice and smooth. We're on a good approach. We missed the trees. Ooh. Right on the numbers. Well done. Very well done. So we have 2 Moonies and 4 Caravans on our flight today. Very nice landings by all. So we're going to go ahead and get back in the cockpit. We're going to direct to and Kilo Golf. Kilo Golf. Uniform Charlie. Hey, Gunnison, that's it. Have that all plugged in. A little bit. A little bit of fill, a little bit of leveling, you know. I swear one of these days my neighbor's leaf blower is going to come up missing, and I'm not going to have a single slightest clue as to who did it. Always knows it always happens right when I'm trying to, at least you guys shouldn't be able to hear it. So that's a silver lining. But we're going to go ahead and taxi down to the end of the runway. And go ahead, strobes are on, taxi lights off, landing lights are on. Every time. Doggone neighbor. Off my lawn. Okay, we check our altimeter setting, and it did change. notch of flaps. This is where it's going to get real fun, because we're going to continue to follow the river, which is going to take us through the mountain on our way to Gunnison. Turn around. But it's going to be nice to have differential braking again. It's kind of like the elephant walks that militaries do with their air forces and whatnot, just a string of aircraft and whatnot. Just going down at once. Okay, we are missing one Mooney, it would seem. Condition lever is full, prop is full, brake is held down. We're gonna let the engine spool up. Release the brake, get the heading on the runway, roll out. Autobots, roll out. There's the last one. No worries, mate. All the time in the world. That Mooney is a whole lot faster than this Caravan. No worries at all. Maintain runway heading. Well, as close as possible. Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I wish I had differential braking, because that it helps out a little bit of that. Hey, flaps are going up. Trim up pretty bad. Oh. It is a flying brick with wheels, but I love it because it's docile. It's nice to fly. I mean, it's a 172 on steroids, and I'm okay with that because I love flying the 172. And to quote Sergeant Johnson from Halo, for a brick, he flew pretty good. It looks like we have everyone in the air now. Oh, no break. So, as I consult the map from Harriet Alexander Field, we're going to look for US Highway 50. I love it so much, so I kind of missed their inclusion of the amphib from, I think it was FS 2004. I kind of wish they had brought that over to the new sim, as well as just the wheel with the cargo pod. because that would have given another amphibious aircraft for us to fly in Flight Sim. Not that I'm complaining by any means, but it would have been fun to have that as well. I mean, and that's one of the best applications for the Caravan would be having it on floats. Okay, so that should be U.S. Highway 5th. That goes right through there. So that is, I believe, Mount Ouray, O-U-R-A-Y, at 4,258 meters. Unless I'm slightly mistaken. But I think that's it. Mount Ouray. We're gonna keep climbing because we are not in low territory here by any stretch of the imagination. If you ever jump out of another Caravan, Murph, just be careful of your legs, okay? Just promise me that much. It's gonna take a turn. So we're already at 12,300 feet, and it doesn't feel like we're that far off the ground, which we're not, ironically enough. Kind of trimmed down just a wee bit. Really don't see a need of climbing too much higher. Definitely been it. I really would love to invest in a much better joystick, because the one I have, it doesn't even have a POV hand switch to look around like I do on my yoke, and that's one of the biggest problems I have, is just not being able to look. I've got it set up where I can look left and right, but not, looking around like have become accustomed to. And this is actually, I'm running the community mod for the 208, and I'm also running the community G1000 mod, so I can actually do a few extra things with the G1000 that you can't necessarily do in the stock version. And I guess you can hear my dadgum neighbor, so that's awesome. Let's do it right outside my dadgum window. Just absolutely gorgeous scenery. I don't know as I'd really... I guess so far this particular stretch of highway wouldn't be so bad to drive along, but it would still be a little white knuckle. No, it's not you. It's my lousy neighbor with the leaf blower. Because he can't help but do it every single day at the worst possible time. Don't know, it's not, definitely not you. Just the bane of my current existence, that's all. Throttle back just a bit. The throttle, torque and prop just a bit. And it also does, hello. As the saying goes, there's always one. I'm going to use that as a direct quote from Two-Tone Murphy. Unless that was Murph in a... Because I think if I don't have a particular livery, it shows a generic. And it was showing some generic... it was showing Airbuses for CJ4s and the MB339 yesterday on history. So that could be it. And that was almost a mountain strike. Okay. Well, I'll say this. He's not getting any fame because I don't see his name tag. So, GG. Nice try. Come again. Yep, and then I would encourage, that's, yes, you're doing the right thing. Okay, and this route should get us straight to Gunnison, which is fantastic. Up just a tad. Doesn't help that my neighbor is turning his property into a doggone parking lot too. Just the beauty of this place is, it's stunning. Kind of do some instrument kind of procedure and not look out the window so much for a minute. So that's should be US 50. Which is what we want to follow. Hey look, clear skies. Zoom out just a bit. So we will intersect our line just at the right point in time. Hey, look at that! This time I'm not getting us lost. How about that? That, my friends, is progress. Yeah, I almost did this trip in the 172, but I kind of had second thoughts given the altitude and whatnot. But kind of glad I went with the Caravan. Just look at the state of the scenery. There's mountains everywhere. Yeah. If I did it in the 152, this would have been a whole day stream, and I don't think anybody would have wanted to do that. So this was probably I believe, if my planning is correct. That's asking a lot out of me. This should be the shortest leg. So if it seems to be going by quickly, this is the shortest leg, and we still have two more. The next leg is 45 nautical miles, and the leg after that is 47. This is just, it's beautiful. Fun fact, in the wintertime, they get a fairly mild amount of snow on this part, and at least on this side of the big peaks of the Rockies. So, and to combat the ice, instead of using salt, they use ash, which is an interesting fact. I don't know the science behind how that works, but such that it is. And runway in sight. Oh, condition prop lever to full. We're going to reduce torque lever. Get a descent. This one notch of flaps. You want to pitch up. .5% torque. Throw that extra last little notch of flaps in. We have a Mooney off the nose. More torque back in. And one thing that I've learned with my flight training and just being around it for as long as I have, when you're on final like this, your left hand is on, well, presuming you're in the left seat, the pilot and command seat. Your left hand is on your yoke and your right hand is on your throttle. Now, in a fighter jet type situation, it might your right hand may be on the stick and your left on the throttle, but your one hand is always on the flight control, the other hand is always on the throttle, because you're going to be making fine adjustments to both the entire way down, because you pitch to speed and you throttle to altitude. So if you're too high in your glide slope, you reduce your power while maintaining your pitch, because you want to set a certain speed. Now, if I had actually been doing my homework on how to fly the Caravan correctly, I would know the proper speed to aim for descent, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I'm using the throttle more than I am the pitch to control where I am glide slope. Like now, I'll add more power in because I'm now on the proper glide slope. I'm a little low. Okay, and now that I'm about over there, I pull the power back. At a certain point, I do my pull out for my rollout, just where I am on the center line with my rudder pedals. A little off center, but a nice, controlled, stable approach. Okay, less than 40 knots, flaps are coming up. Use some manual braking to get onto the taxiway. Go ahead and landing lights off, taxi lights on, strobes off. Gonna go ahead and well, we got a Mooney down, nice landing. Put the parking brake on now. Caravan number 2. Nice, nice approach. We're on the center line. Nice rollout flare. And we're down. Very nice. Our next caravan. Caravan. Stable on approach. We're on the center line. Power's out. Nicely done. We're on the center line. Nice flare. Very well done. We are at Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie, Gunnison, at the moment. Our second Mooney. There's the landing gear. Those are a little touchy. Camera. A bit of a bounce, but well done. Maintaining control, fly it all the way down to the stop. Very well done. Hey, Dazza, how you doing? We got a Civil Air Patrol caravan coming in. We're not stable. Ooh. I can't complain, Dazza. We finally got her down, but good job, good job. You flew it all the way down to the ground, and that's what counts. All the wheels are still on it. Ooh. Well, you paid for the entire runway, so you might as well use it, right? Got someone way up there. Yeah, it's fun because you always learn a thing or two. It's like the insurance. Was it the Farmers Insurance commercials? We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. A very classy paint scheme on that Mooney. All right. Get back into the cockpit. Very nice. I have a feeling you're going to really enjoy that honeycomb. One day I shall have my hands on a honeycomb, but for now, I have things that work. And that's what counts. So we'll get a start on slowly making our way back to the runway. Flaps are up. Lights are set. Go on there. Excuse me. Okay, we'll get up to here, make sure that we got everybody with us. Yeah, looks like the gang's all here. We're gonna go ahead. Taxi lights off, landing lights on, strobe light on. One notch of flaps down. Trim set. End up on the runway. Slowly advance the torque lever. Keep her on the center line as best as we can. Airspeed's coming alive. And without so much of an effort, it just comes off the ground like it wants to fly. How about that? Although I forgot to do the direct to. Going to Kilo Mike. Tango. J. Montrose, Colorado. Hey, we've got enough. Have enough altitude. We turn the put the flaps up. We're going to readjust our altimeter setting. There's the fireflies of the flight. Wow, that's really zoomed in. Okay, we'll get this sorted out. So we're going to follow the river reduce our power settings a little bit. Because we don't want to go overly high. Because we want to enjoy the scenery. You know, that's some science that we're going to have to do. I'm sure this could carry at least 6 logs. I might be able to carry a couple on the wings, like you'd find on a fighter jet, on the pylon. Woo, she bouncy. She bouncy. I don't think the Mooney could carry near as many logs, however, as a Caravan. Well, hello. What are you flying, Chippy? Really? Make sure your flaps are out. I've done that a couple of times. I'll be redlining and going, I can't understand why I can't get above the white arc, and it turns out my flaps were just 1 notch down. Other than that, I'm not... Oh, don't lean the engine, because the turbine engine works a little differently, so keep the condition lever forward. The turboprops... Turboprops. That's you know what? I'm just going to call them that from now on. The turboprop engine, it works a little differently than the piston. Don't feel too bad. If I can forget to leave the flaps up or the flaps down or leave the gear up on landing, we can forgive you for that. But don't worry about it. Just look at this. Look at the state of the scenery, though. And people live here. Yes. The thing that makes it on these to make it sound like you're in a vacuum cleaner. Now that's some formation flying, if I've ever seen it. Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. People live here. People live in this area of the world. It's glorious. You're just pretending your Jeep is an airplane because you want to get away from it all. Look at that. Look at that little bit of a canyon that we're going to fly through, or slightly over. Absolute beauty. Money says that there's a scenic overlook right in here. I mean, the whole area is scenic. I almost hazard to guess that this is some sort of national park or national forest. On the left, it looks like you have some altitude below you. On the right, it looks like you're on final approach. As the synthetic vision has to think about life for a minute. We're going to follow this gorge a bit. Because why not? Why would you not want to? Oh dear, floating trees. Haha! I see what you did there. Dangerous Brian 45 is now following. Thank you, good sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Hope you're having a good day. Happy Tuesday. And there, thanks for following along in this wonderful trip through Colorado. So a little background on as to why I've chosen this particular area to fly in, outside of the fact that it's just a beautiful place to fly. Back in, it was either 2008 or 2009, it had been around about, if it's 2008, it was around about 15 years since I had seen my grandma and grandpa on my dad's side of the family. Because in 1993 they moved out to Colorado after my great grandpa had passed away, and for a lot of reasons they moved out to Colorado. Well, in later part of 2008 or 2009, and I think it might have been 2008, I got in touch with them, and we started talk about how it'd really be great to come out and see them. And they lived in Montrose, which is the city that we're coming into right now. Well, as it turned out, my grandfather had been struggling and fighting cancer, and so it was really encouraged me to want to be able to go and see him. Arrangements were made for me to fly out there to see him, or well, to see them. And just a few days, 2 or 3 days before I flew out to see them, my grandfather passed away. And in fact, his services were held on the day I flew in, and I wasn't able to go. But it was still worth coming out and seeing my grandma and spending time with her and her sister, but it was, so there's a lot of personal connection for me in coming out here, and it's been since then that I've been out this way. And I just remember being out there, and the scenery was just stunning. Their house was up on a little hill, and you had mountains on 3 sides of the house that you could just look out a window and see mountain. And it was beautiful. And so that's one of the main reasons why I decided to make this little bit of a trip. Kind of a trip down memory lane. And so yeah. So the airport in this town is should be off our nosy. Yep, there's a airport. That's the word I was looking for. Now, I couldn't tell you offhand right specifically where their house was, but it was, the city's right in here, the airport's right here, and one of my grandpa's best friends was the one to pick me up from the airport. So I got to know him a little bit. So yeah. So we put the prop lever to full, we reduced throttle, or torque. Going to line up for this runway. It's just kind of interesting how aviation has intertwined has intertwined itself in my life in one fashion or another, involving family, and that's one of the reasons why aviation is such a important thing to me. Is I have such a deep connection to it in a lot of ways, and I enjoy sharing that with people. torque setting goes to 25. We're going to keep kind of pitch up so we can lose some airspeed. Now we're waiting in the white arc. We put a notch of flaps down. Pitch up. We're going to add some more power back in with the torque lever. Got the flashy lights going. Power even more. If y'all couldn't tell, I'm a bit of a sentimental person. Try not to get overly sappy, but sometimes it's hard not to. So I hope you'll forgive that. Thanks, Linda. We've got full flaps. We're descending at about 70 knots. Here. 70 knots. Alright, pulling back the throttle a little bit, or torque, I should say. The numbers, start the rollout, go. Ooh, as butter. Alright, we'll exit the runway to the left here. Clear the runway, taxi light comes on, landing lights come off, strobe light comes off. Oh. Parking brake on. Drone camera engaged. Oh, we already got one caravan down. We've got a TBM. Wow. Our group has been fruitful and multiplied. It's biblical. Mooney number 1. Down. A little bit of a bounce. Ooh. Keep her on the runway. We stayed on the runway. Good job. Like we have Mooney number 2. We're on the center line. On the rollout. Starting the flare. Nice. Very smooth. Caravan number 3. Well done. Oh, we got a King Air. Little rough, but we made it down. Well done. And you can hear that King Air from a mile away. Hey, Brian. A couple IPS. Mooney number 3. We're a little off the center line, but that's okay. We got a smooth landing going on. And there's the landing gear. Smooth. Very nice. Caravan and Mooney coming in. The Mooney's down real smooth, slight bounce. Caravan's in that ground effect. There we go. Well done. Well done, everyone. Wow, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus me is 10. Wowzers. Well done, guys. Gals. People. Oh, we got one more coming in. Oh, I don't want to miss that. Would not want to miss that by any means. Well, then we definitely don't want to miss Murph's landing. I'm going to have to get that soundtrack from him. I can hear the sound of jingle bells. Because jingle bells go on a Christmas tree. You're good. We're floating, we're floating, we're floating, we're floating, we're floating, we're floating, and smooth. Very smooth. Well done. Yep, no hurry, Alyssa, or Allison. Alyssa? Yeah. Allison, we will not leave without you. So, let's do a recount real quick. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 5 Moonies, 4 Caravans, a TBM, and a King Air. Nice. Okay. We're gonna at least get prepared real fast for our final-ish leg. This whole trip's going a lot faster than I anticipated, but that's what happens when you use a much faster airplane than it was planned for. But it's okay. It's okay. First off, we're going to reset our altimeter. We're going to do direct to. Yeah. And we're going to go to Kilo Golf Juliet Tango. Oh, that's the wrong knob. So Kilo Golf. Juliet Tango, Grand Junction. This was the home of another one of my grandpa's close friends. So we're all set. We're gonna double check our pitch trim. Alright, so parking brake off. Torque lever increase to brake momentum and start taxiing down the taxi. So I suppose if people would like, we can go back to do a nice return trip to. We'll just go back to India Victor 6. How about that? Or we could go to Denver. And they could have leveled out this taxiway just a hair. Okay. We're taxiing. Get Scott. Let's see, Kappa. That. A E. This is a quite lumpy taxiway. Alright, we're going to enter the runway, so landing lights come on, strobe light comes on, see and be seen. Okay. Here everybody's with us, all lined up, ready to go. Although it looks like the King Air's gone missing. Going to spool up. Holding down the brake, holding down the brake, holding down the brake, holding down the brake, and release brake. We're off the ground. And 300 feet above ground level, so flaps coming up. stable climb. Roger that. We're going to do a quick circle of the city while everybody gets airborne. Okay, it's true. So we'll do a... Make sure everybody's up. Seems most of the fireflies are in the sky. Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Alright, so we will do a casual, continue this casual turn onto course to Grand Junction, Colorado. Reduce our power and prop a little bit. Work more than prop. We definitely don't need to gain much more altitude because we don't have a lot of interference for this leg, which is no longer our last leg. I plotted out a nice long leg for after this one. It shouldn't be too bad to do in the wonderful collection of airplanes that our group has tonight. Goodbye, Montrose. Lovely to visit again. And it shall not be the last. Everybody say their farewells to Montrose as we depart. And until the next time. Now we're starting to... This is the kind of territory where you can find classic cars that aren't being totally eaten away by rust. We are headed to Grand Junction, which is Kilo Golf Juliet Tango. We're at roughly 9,500 feet, going approximately 133, 135 knots, give or take. Indicated. It appears that and here we see a wild caravan and TVM flirting with each other in their natural. The beauty of nature. Oh, that's a bump. I'm just throwing everybody off because the air bump unsettled me, and I was in the wrong view to kind of try to compensate for it. The gathering of fireflies over Colorado. Today on National Geographic. I have either too much going on in my mind or not enough to be able to remember that stuff. Who knows? That's why it's fun. This is some nice flying, folks. I'm not even using autopilot. So you all are doing a fantastic job keeping formation. DBM almost went space shuttle status. Ooh, there's an air bump. Don't mind me, that was just a bit of a computer hang-up. So, fun fact, as from time to time I've flown the Mooney, and with the little visors, like this one, but except you can actually use them in the Coronado airplanes. It's come in handy when you got everybody has their lights on, but it's the middle of the day and they're on a cloud, so you can't see the lights anyway. Using the visor, you can see the lights, and that is awesome. It's super helpful. You're like, where'd everybody go? I can't see the lights. Because I've gotten to the point where I don't like using the name tags because it kind of, it kind of ruins the look, the immersion. I know, my immersion. But until they make a hotkey for the doggone name tags, I just keep them off. In the Caravan, it's the panel right over the center display, the HDG. As soon as I start explaining. And no, you're not stupid. So this is the highway that my grandma and I took to get to Grand Junction to visit my grandfather's friend. I'm reasonably certain. Ooh, we got somebody out there. That looks like a TBM. Let's see, so my money is... Interesting. It almost sounds like something that, like... I wouldn't worry about that. We all have those problems. Because when I joined halfway through your flight Sunday morning... I guess it was Sunday afternoon for you, ish. Oh. Oh, that's gonna be fun. But, okay, so it's not the same problem that I was having Sunday morning. Got it. Interesting. Well, on the upside, you do have quite a few of the controls set up on your HOTAS. So you won't... They'll just make life a little interesting. I wonder if it, it's a long shot, but kind of like you're having issues with the drone cam the other day and you hit C. I wonder if pressing that a few times would help out. It's a long shot, but it's a thought. Minutes out, 15 nautical miles. When in doubt, just hit the eject button and see what happens. Gotcha. Well, at least you got that. Sure, we'll see the airport. Aha! There it is. So we're going to... When in doubt, Alt F4. So we have the runway in sight. We're going to turn so that we have a smooth, straight-in approach. We're going to put the prop lever to full. We're going to take the torque lever down to 50%. Going to trim up so as to lose more airspeed than altitude. Yeah, Chippy's got the right idea. Up a bit more. And more. Go back on the yoke just a tad. Out with that. And we're in the white arc. One notch of flaps going in. Push forward on the yoke to compensate for pitch up. Going to use torque. I'll start trimming down a little bit. Work down to 50%, or excuse me, 25%. Follow the TBM. And this guy I guess, well, maybe, no, yes. Well, it seems as though the TBM is going to intercept this guy. So, box 1. It's all good, Jim. I appreciate you stopping by anyway and hitting the like button. I do greatly appreciate it. I hope all is well. And then I hope you get some very good rest tonight for your early start tomorrow. So we're almost lined up with the runway. Probably add a little bit more torque in. Already got somebody on final. Is just fine. I don't feel you need to wait on me for landing unless you want to catch me camera-ing some landing. The work setting 25%. Appear to be above the glide slope. Absolutely. Unless something major pops up, you can count on me being there. And there's always Discord. Always the Discord. Alright, we're going into landing mode, so right hand on fork lever, left hand on yoke. Work. Definitely seem a little on the high side. Here goes the King Air.
500.
Thanks, Linda. Go ahead. We're way above the... Oh goodness, frame rates. Oh, okay. You as well. You have a great night. Oh, the frame rate. Oh, and still managed a good landing out of it. Oh, I didn't get that extra notch of flap, so that explains a lot. And we're gonna pull off here real quick. Parking brake set. Condition lever. Got a Mooney down. The King Air's down. Here's the Caravan. Oh, the frame rate. I don't know what it is. Very nice. Only got to refresh. Oh, it seems to kind of even out. Got to refresh chat. Other than that, I don't know what refresh button there is on OBS. Small, smooth movements, everything's... Oh, we got one go around from a Caravan. Mooney coming in. Well done. King Air inbound. Well done. Very nice. We got one more caravan coming in. So once we get that, we'll set the next the next destination is going to be Kilo Alpha Papa Alpha. AAPA. And you really can hear those king hairs for quite a distance, can't you? My goodness. It is Kilo Alpha Papa Delta. Alpha, excuse me. Kilo Alpha Papa Alpha. I misspoke. AAPA. Nicely done. I suppose. Let's. Okay, we'll go back to here. We're going to go to direct to to Kilo. Denver Centennial. Now this one we're definitely going to want to use the autopilot. And looking at the charts for altitudes, we're probably going to want to be about 14,000 feet for most of the trip. So if we go ahead to our autopilot setting, put the flight director on, we're going to do altitude select. We're going to set that at flight level 145. Gonna vertical speed, and we'll gain it by 500. And we'll give it 1,000 feet per minute. All right, so condition lever full. Torque lever up to 25-ish%. Or enough to where we break momentum. To adjust altimeter setting, go back into our trim. It's Denver Centennial, so it's not the Class B airfield, but it is Denver area. So it's, I think Murphy did a stream out of Centennial a couple weeks ago, roundabout. Yep, and I must get this from my grandpa. He was an expert at avoiding Class B airspace. So I've gotten into a habit of avoiding it as well. For better or for worse. Well, I may have to remove my sweatshirt before we continue, so one moment. Alright. That should be a little cooler. Another bumpy taxiway. Oof. Oof. Some gnarly dips in this taxiway. Good night. Well, you know, I guess we're going to take off with a little bit of a tailwind. Okay. Warhamster01 is now following. Why, thank you. Very kindly. we're going on to an active runway, so taxiway lights are off. I had it all set up, ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and taxi into position hold. If I've never said that I love a challenge, I love a challenge. But a serious tailwind trying to land, that makes for an interesting time. Referring to the Canary Islands. That was interesting. Wait for everyone to parade their way down. We've got the caravan crew. A couple of Moonies, another caravan, and a couple more Moonies, a Baron, another caravan. That might be... I swear I can hear a King Air somewhere. That could be me. Alright, so most of us are here. So I'm going to spool up. Release the brakes. Oh, there's King Air. Sure, they got us beat on speed, so maintain runway heading for a minute. Okay, we're going to start a slow turn to the right. We pass over the outer marker, or the middle marker, excuse me. I didn't use any flaps on that takeoff. How about that? Expert level stuff. So, we're going to get kind of straightened out when we get to 090. A nice leisurely bank to the right. Look at those fireflies. Look at that. That's awesome. Alright, so now that we're here, we're going to engage the autopilot and hope it doesn't kill us. So we have the autopilot set to 14,500 feet at 1,000 feet per minute climb rate, vertical speed. And we are currently on an intercept course of 114 degrees for the magenta line. And you know, if we go too high, we go too high. We can always change altitudes mid-flight. Just look at the state of the mountains and stuff. Alright, we're turning on course. Apparently. And if your plane cannot go to the altitude that we have set, I apologize. We can make adjustments. Sorry, I thought I heard a king air. No, that's just me. I'm overweight. You know what? We're going to change the altitude selection. We're going to go down to 11.5. We'll adjust as necessary. Look at that butte. Isn't that just amazing? Oh, we're getting bumped around. Something fierce. We got a headwind. Light cross headwind. So, one of the nice things about the community G1000 mod is if I go to the center one, I can go into map and I can do track up so that it actually makes it so the track is up and down as it, or where the aircraft's direction is up as opposed to north being up. So that's kind of nice. It still does the next rad, which kind of thing. It still does the topographical. And it can also change to, depending on the plane, it can change this display. It doesn't appear to be doing that in this. It does change a little bit with the Bonanza. I don't know what that does. So there's that, and then if I go, it has some different settings in this, but it's mostly the same. Like I can turn it off. PFD. I can actually turn off the synthetic vision if I don't want that on for whatever reason. I can change the unit of measurement for the elevation or the air pressure, so it does it in millibars as opposed to inches, or I can set it to inches. I haven't fully explored it, so I can't really give the in-depth of all the wonderful things that it can do now. If I go into menu, I can change the default brightness settings of individual panel. So it does some nice little creature comfort kind of things. The community mod for the 208 does it adjusts power settings, and I think it reduces power a little bit because the default 208s can be a little too fast. Again, this is not me. This is me kind of regurgitating what little bit of I actually read. But it adjusts engine performance, torque performance, and that sort of thing, because that's been a noted issue with some of the default aircraft. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to bring the prop back just a hair, we're going to bring the torque lever back to 75%. And look, it has a cup holder. How awesome is that? So yeah, I'm running that, but having there's also a community mod for the G3000, which I think is the touchscreen. I think that's the one that's in like the Icon, the BL3. I think it might be the one in the TBM, but I've not flown the TBM, so I can't confirm that. And that changes a bunch of stuff, but again, I've got no idea. I kind of wish that the community G1000 mod would work in the Coronado 182, because I think there's some issues with the Coronado G1000 in the 182, and it seems to cause some crashes. It's happened on more than one occasion with group flights. It's just one of the reasons why I haven't flown it all that much. I like flying the 182. It's just, if it's causing people to crash, I'm not going to fly it, just because I don't want to cause other people problems. And also, we're going to probably eventually have to raise the altitude. This is just, it's beautiful out here. Look at this. It's just nuts. I also run the community mod for the G36 Bonanza, because the way Asobo modeled it, they gave it a 4-cylinder engine, but it should have a 6-cylinder engine, so it actually boosts the power quite a bit. The Bonanza can almost keep up with the, or can easier. It is easier for the Bonanza to keep up with the Mooney. There is a G36 Turbo mod for the default Bonanza that makes it a turbo Bonanza, and it can easily keep up with the mooning. I think that's, in my opinion, that's a little too much, but that's just me. I like the 6-cylinder regular Bonanza just fine. I just wish it had steam gauges. I also run the C152X mod, which kind of dials in the performance specs and whatnot of the 152 more realistic. The only thing I don't like is having to hold the start key down for a little bit longer. That also doesn't work with my switch panel. So that's kind of annoying, but something I can deal with for the overall performance. It also makes it a little bit faster and gives it the appropriate amount of fuel tank, or fuel capacity. So there's some decent community mods for the default aircraft that don't seem to affect performance at all. The only problem with the 152 mod is it does interfere with the training missions. Which is something I'm going to have to uninstall the mod so I can just do the missions, or at least a couple of them, just to say that I've done them. Because I think there's achievements involved. But beyond that, the community has done some really nice modifications for the default air. I like what they've done with the Caravan. I'm using, I think it's like UWA's light mod. It affects some of the standard aircraft that come with the standard edition. It makes them brighter, and it makes them a little nicer, in my opinion. Especially at night, it makes it easier to see. But I think it's worth it. I'm going to get in here, and I'm going to adjust our altitude, because the ground's coming up to meet us a little more than I expected. So we're going to adjust to 13.5. Vertical speed, we're going to go ahead. We'll go to 500 feet a minute. Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. My only disappointment is something that's out of control of the author of the mod, and that's the fact that it doesn't work with current with the like the Aerobat, the Steam Gauge 172, basically anything in the deluxe or premium deluxe edition aircraft, and it has something to do with the encryption that Asobo has on those aircraft, which is unfortunate. And I really think that Asobo needs to unlock that for people. I'd also like them, not that I fly it much, but it'd be nice to see them unlock and remap the 747 to, because right now it's really weird. They've only mapped one side of the fuselage, so you put any text on there, and it's correct on one side of the airplane, but on the other side it's mirrored, so it's wrong. It's backward, and I really think that Asobo should consider doing something about that, because I mean that makes it's unrealistic. Yeah, so it's they can do what they want, but my personal opinion is they really ought to consider changing that, because that frees up the ability for the community to do community things to it and not have them look kind of weird. So, yeah. I can't wait until they fix it so that we can see other players' registration numbers. That's going to be nice. Man, just look at the state of the scenery, though. If I keep saying ow, I apologize. I think I slept wrong on my right thumb. I went to adjust myself during the middle of the night, and next thing I knew, I had sharp pain running through my left thumb. And it still hurts, but there's no sign of injury, so woe is me having occasional sharp pain. Uh-oh. And that has me confused because I'm running live weather and it says the outside air temp is 16 degrees Celsius and it's nice and sunny, so I'm not sure what's going on. Really? Interesting. And if you're in the... I'm guessing you're in the Mooney. I would imagine that the Mooney has some sort of de-icing equipment on board. Ah, that'll do it too. So it looks like we should be flying for a while at 13.5. Just look at the state of the scenery. Yeah, I'm at right 13.5. My altimeter settings 2994. OAT is 6. And I'm going at approximately 135 or 134 and a half knots indicated. Could probably kick it up just a hair. You'd want. Don't like it. Don't break, Sim. It's just, the scenery is just nuts. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, but it's just crazy. Ooh, we're getting bounced. We're getting bounced quite a bit. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that glorious? Yeah. Yeah, and I've flown over the Rockies at like 30,000 feet, but you kind of lose some of the perspective of just how amazing the scenery is from a more normal perspective. Which is one of the best things about flying at these lower altitudes. Uh-oh. And it's likes to move you around, doesn't it? I'm in the trees. Yeah. It'll do that. I wonder if you could redesign the wing to have a couple of pylons. Or then you might have to contend with you need to construct additional pylons. Got the caravan crew. Look at that formation. It's an echelon formation, if I recall. Almost. Image controls. There you go. Yep. That looks like a TBM coming up. Or is it something? No, that looks like a TBM. Look at this. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how wonderful this is. Well, hello. So much to look at. And they make roads through the Rocky Mountains. They make roads. They get from one side to the other. Oh, look, there's an airport. Oh, there's a black TBM. There's a Mooney. That's a lot of trees. And you know, when there's a lot of trees, you just know there's a lot of logs around. Just can't get away from the thing. Ooh. Well, if I consult the charts, we may have just passed, or that airport we had passed might just have been Aspen. So we've passed Aspen. it seems that the only peaks that we're really going to have to worry about aren't for a while, and there's one peak at 13,852 and one at 13,684. So at some... Aha, it was. And my map reading skills are paying off. I love it when a plan comes together. So we should be... If we go up to 14,000, we should be just fine for a little while. But we'll stay as we are. We'll hold fast on any major changes for now. And see how things go. How about that? Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan to me. Wait. Go away. What we got flashing over? That's a Baron. Have a Baron. Smattering of caravans. Minding of Moonies. This is going to be a close one. Are we going to take any bets on to see if Linda says 500 as we go over this particular ridge? Get your bets in now. I live dangerously. That'd be a neat place to have a little bit of a settlement. Comes that ridge. Hey, Linda didn't say anything. How about that? Gives a bounce though. I think Lake County's out this way. As we get tossed around a little bit. We're going to go ahead and adjust our altitude by 500 feet. Go up to 14,000 feet, and we're going to take it at 3 minutes. Altitude set. Lights. It's for Denver, Saturday, sunny 21, Sunday, negative snow showers. Yeah, wait until you watch Michigan's weather. Michigan will, yeah, there have been days where we've had all 4 seasons in one day. It's kind of crazy. Like in the morning, we'll dress for winter. By lunchtime, we'll be ready for snow. By dinner time, we're wearing shorts and t-shirts. And by the time the sun's starting to go down, we should be picking up leaves. It's kind of crazy. But I've born and raised here in Michigan all my life, so it's, to me, it's just, it's as crazy as it is, it's normal. Does anybody want to take any bets of whether we can make this or not? My money is on not, so we're going to, well, let's check our altimeter setting. Oh, of course, yes. In Michigan, you learn to dress in layers and usually have a coat at quick access. Okay, so we're going to go up to 14.5 vertical speed. We're going to go through 200 feet a minute. You learn to be prepared in Michigan, because you never know what the weather's going to do. You can get a forecast in the morning, and that's a loose guess of what the day is going to turn out to be. In fact, during my trip up north with my dad last week, it was sunny in the morning and throughout most of the day, and clouds started coming in, and then it rained, and then it stopped raining. We got back to our hotel, and no sooner had we done that as it was just this massive thunderstorm rolled through. So it was really it was fun, so to speak. Oh my. Pull up. You really need to pull up. I should be good, but yeah, barren terrain. Oh, you gonna make it? Is he gonna make it? Woo! Ooh, he made it. That was a close one. It ain't over yet, though. It ain't over yet. Ooh, we made it. All right. Like those times that, like the time that Murph went through the Grand Canyon. It's like, Murph, there's a terrain there. Murph, I know it's important to read the chat, but Murph, there's terrain. Gotta keep Hamish on his toes, watching for that terrain. Pull up. Whoop, whoop. Pull up. Terrain. Terrain. Don't sink. Let's see, what city is that? I believe that might be the Dillon Reservoir. And we're just that, the city is Breckenridge. Or Breckenridge, excuse me. Which means this is the last of the major terrain that we should need to be concerned about. Although once we get past the Highland Park, which I believe is this here, we can start descending. If I'm reading my aeronautical chart correctly. Ooh, we're going. I think they need to do see if they can do a third-party mod or get another caravan where you can open the doors and we can launch Murphys out. That'd be an interesting. I'm here at 5 o'clock. Speaking of Murphy, well, hello. Or hello. I wonder if we should call the Colonel Fort groups the Two-Tone Murphy Auxiliary. Although it's a lot of the same people, so it's just like occasionally I'm the flight lead. We'll figure something out. I am wearing an example of my 47 Echo cleared for takeoff shirts. Not that you can see it, because kind of wasn't in the mood to have the face cam on. No. But it's a nicely well done shirt. I did wear my Two-Tone Murphy shirt up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan during my journey. So represented the Murph up there. That's no moon. That's a space station. So it's getting to the season where I might have to dig up the fundage for a two-tone Murphy hoodie. And one of my own. I need to design some more shirts. I've got some ideas, but I never actually follow through with them. Probably get on that at some point. So, going back to El Charto. I could very easily be not reading this correctly, so there's that. Looking for small, right along a river, so this, actually that river is a better identifier. So we're over Webster, and that should be the North Fork South Platte River, or something along those lines, which puts us right over, I believe that makes this the Highland Park, as noted on the aeronautical chart. That means after this ridge we can start descending. In fact, we could probably descend to about 11.5 and be beachy. So we're gonna see what happens. Going to altitude select. We're going to decrease that to 11,500. Vertical speed, we're going to go to 300 feet per minute descent. Got one flashy light up there. Like the North Star leading the way. Yeah, we're definitely getting to the flat part of Colorado. You can tell. You got these mountains, then looks kind of flat. So we went from one side of the Rocky Mountains to another side of the Rocky Mountains. There's a nice peak over there. Let's see, go back to the chart. So to stay below Class B, we need to be below 10,000 feet. So we will need to go down a little further. So if we go, we will adjust our altitude down to 9,500. Probably going to increase that by a little bit. Use power just a bit so we don't overspeed the airframe. And that should make it so we're below Class B Vale. Because then, let's see, I think here's that field elevation is 5,885. So if we go down to, so that would put pattern altitude at about 7,000. So we may need to do a bit more of an aggressive descent, which is fine. So we're going to go down to 7,500. We're going to go to 1,000 foot. Then we're going to drop the power back even more. So we will be more than fine. We're about to cross into the Mode C Vale. It should be right just before we go over this lake. What that means is all aircraft are required to have Mode C transponders, which reports altitude to the radar. So we're still above the minimum for the Class B outer circle, but we're dropping altitude in a hurry, so it might be just fine. That's the Mode C Vale, I believe. Or at very least it's the airspace. So 1,500 feet a minute. We might skim it. If the FAA wants to get mad at us, they can. Alright, so now that we're underneath the minimum altitude, we're going to kind of dial it back. That was pretty drastic. Altimeter setting is 29908. Now we're starting to get some clouds. How about that? There's the highway. Not to the danger zone, but through the town anyway. Okay. So the airport should be in this vicinity here. And as soon as we get sight on it, we can adjust what we're doing to come in for landing. Up the power settings a little bit. So we're looking for some sort of body of water. Head over. So smack dab in front. Oh, thanks for that, man. I appreciate that. You're gonna love it. They do a nice job, I think. Okay, so there's the runway. So we're going to disengage the autopilot. Put the the fork. So we're going to go around to the left, or go south of it and then turn north for downwind. Stop yelling at me, computer. I know what I'm doing. So we're going to land on this runway, this shorter one. Hey, Phil, how's your computer going? Glad you stopped by. I hope you yourself are well. Okay, we're in the white arc, so we're going to put in a notch of flaps. Kind of helps slow us down. So, welcome to Denver Centennial. Aha! I'm doing well. It's been a pretty great day. I have no complaints. Glad that you are well. I'm glad it's not a more serious problem. At least as of so far. Okay, we're going to throw in that extra notch of flaps as we begin. Turn on our base leg. Severely reduced torque. Here's a nice little golf course right on the runway. Look out. Oh. Hold together, Sim. Hold together. Listen. Thanks, Linda. Some power. Time 17 right, clear to land. Not best time to do that, Sim. That down, we're gonna that down. Kind of blatant abandonment off to the right here. Parking on there. We had the TBM on the left runway. Went right. That's okay. Got that new hover technology. Oh, there it goes. Seems we have time. Turn the traffic labels on. We have Alleycats bound. Very nice. Wasn't even that much of a bounce. We've got About It, and the Baron coming in. Ooh, low side. That's not too bad. Over the piano keys. Down on the numbers. Well done. We have the War Hamster. Inbound in a Caravan. You're good, Scotland. You're good. It was a good landing. I just wish I had caught it. Hamster with a nice smooth approach. Very stable descent. Floating her on in. And touchdown. Well done, Warhamster. The one, the only two-tone Murphy inbound in a Caravan, followed closely by Chippy Arnold. The camera's now on him instead of him being behind the camera. We have a nice stable approach. His wings are level. The flaps are down. Put your gear down. I make a joke. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Murph. Go check in on Chippy. Beautiful. Only a small bounce. We're good. Your passengers are pleased. Looks like Hawk Driver is going around. Or something. Catbat 9. Not sure what they're in. Not telling me. Got Bad Dog in the King Air. Hawk Driver in the 208. Like Hawk Driver's on the left runway, Bad Dog's on the right. Try to get Boachman, and Catbat is also on the right. Looks like Bad Dog is overflying. Kill 058. Ooh, Hawk Driver really steeping her in. That might be lag. Catback with a nice smooth approach and a Mooney. And lovely. Absolutely lovely. We've got Kill 058. Kill with 2 eyes. Very nice. JGOS 91 in another TBM coming in. A little nice smooth, a little off center. A little bit on the grass, but we're down. Wait for attempt number 2 by Hawk Driver. Like Keel 058's doing a gonna go for another one. And I don't know what it is about those King Airs, but you can hear them from literally another zip code. That's just nuts. As Catbat 9 continues down the runway. Go check in on Hawk Driver. Ooh, Dangerous Brian inbound. In the words of Darkwing Duck, let's get dangerous. Yeah, I'm old. Magic 888 goes down. Not sure why I'm getting vibration in the old controller. Hawk Driver in the Civil Air Patrol 208. Brian with a little bit of a bounce, and we're down. Hawk Driver, that might just be my screen. Catbat is flickering on the taxiway. Let's chalk that up to technical difficulty. As Magic 888 is almost over the piano keys, and I almost missed it. And we're down. Very smooth. Keel going for the Navy approach. And we slammed her down. How about that, folks? Let's see. Let's count how we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 of us, folks. 13 of us, folks. Words are hard. Well done by everybody. Although for the group shot, I'm going to turn off the nameplates real fast. Well, you know, that's how we learn. That's okay. We're going to turn the traffic name tapes off. Yeah, no, it's absolutely stunning. Going to the Great Colorado Fly-Off with the gang. Get a screenshot of that. Well, thank you all for coming along and making this a wonderful trip. I do appreciate every single one of you stopping by. Excuse me. It's great fun. We got to explore different parts of the Rockies, and it wasn't the same trip on the way back as it was on the way to. Got some good landings in. We had lots of fun. Well, we don't want you to get shot, Allison, so you have a good night. It's probably pretty much midnight for most of you. Don't let me keep you up, but I do thank you for coming with me. And until the next time, be good to each other. Stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.